Toni.
You never told me.
Bad rumor.
I was expecting,
Who
but I
did
had
that?
to go with her.
You never told me.
It's so good to see Toni and Birdman sitting together and being together, you know.
I did not
after
start.
talk about them. But just a reminder, I am not planning the wedding.
Even told, oh, y'all so cute. That heart side all the time. To be so every day.
Why would I have to be so?
It's putting your guard. I can always overstep the woman that's what I'm gonna do.
But I don't have
Picture this. You're walking down the aisle, and 2 days later, you're signing divorce papers. No, this ain't a plot twist from a trashy reality show. This is real life for Toni Braxton and Birdman. Yeah, that Birdman. Put some respect on my name. Tied the knot, then dipped immediately. And now Tamar Braxton is out here dropping hints like she knows way more than she's saying. But before anybody starts talking reckless, no, this ain't about that infamous Lil Wayne kiss moment. No shade, no judgment. But let's be real. There's something way messier happening behind closed doors. We're talking slick setups, weird relationship moves, whispers that Birdman might be on the low, and Tamar out here tossing clues like she's leading a scandal hunt. People online are connecting dots, and it's looking crazy. So yeah, grab your popcorn, 'cause we're about to dive into a so-called love story that might have been more business than romance. Let's hit the timeline. Toni Braxton and Mr. Number One Stunna. Birdman went and secretly got married on August 8, 2024. No big splash, no matching posts, not even a cheesy wedding reel. Just boom, suddenly hitched. And get this, Toni listed their separation date as August 10th. That's right, just 2 days later, done. So Toni filed for divorce 2 weeks later, calling the marriage irretrievably broken. No drama, no messy back and forth, just clean-cut paperwork, in, out, done. But wait, here's where it gets weird. A few months later, she dismissed the divorce. And Birdman signed off like it was no big deal. So what's the real tea? Were they trying to work it out? Or was this marriage even real to begin with? Tamar Braxton hasn't spilled everything, but trust, she's been dropping subtle bombs. And from what she's hinting at, Toni probably should have never said I do to Birdman. Their whole relationship has been a roller coaster since 2016. On again, off again, with no real direction. And let's be honest, even when they were on, it was giving major what are y'all doing energy. They were always an odd match. But then in 2018, Birdman pulled out the big guns and proposed with a massive $5 million yellow diamond ring. It was a moment, all right. But guess what? Nothing ever happened after that. The wedding just kept getting pushed, paused, and postponed. Toni said it was all about timing, but fans weren't buying it. People were straight up saying, "Girl, he is not the one." Then, boom, the real red flag hit. Toni lost the ring. Yeah, lost it. On a flight. She got her bag back, but the $5 million rock? Gone. Just vanished. Poof. And here's the kicker. Birdman didn't even trip. No anger, no drama, he just let it slide like it was nothing. By 2019, things got even messier. Toni and Birdman unfollowed each other. Then Birdman posted a super vague message on IG and later claimed the whole breakup buzz was just for publicity. So now we gotta ask, was this ever real love or was it all just a storyline for the cameras? And while everybody else was guessing, Tamar Braxton was out here acting like she had the whole script. She didn't drop the full truth, but she stayed just cryptic enough to keep the internet in a chokehold. Let's circle back to that divorce filing, because Ms. Toni didn't sugarcoat anything. She filed for divorce just 2 weeks after marrying Birdman and labeled the whole thing irretrievably broken. That's legal code for, this can't be saved, I'm out. But the strangest part? There was no public fight, no cheating scandal, no screaming match, just silence. Like she realized right after the wedding, wait, what did I just do? Then, months later, bam! She dismisses the divorce, like nothing even happened. First, she's saying, he wasn't man enough for me. Then, next thing you know, it's, I still love him. So what went down in those 2 days that flipped everything upside down? People started wondering if something major happened behind closed doors during that 48-hour window. It wasn't giving cold feet, it was giving full-on regret. like she signed the papers, then immediately wanted a rewind. But according to Tamar, this whole thing wasn't just a bad call, it was planned. She didn't spill every tea drop, but baby, she left just enough clues for fans to start drawing their own conclusions. Tamar didn't hold back. She made some pointed comments about women choosing security over love. And in another moment, she called out folks for locking down partners who just aren't ready. It didn't take long before the internet connected the dots. Now people are asking, did Toni marry Birdman during a low moment? Maybe it was about money moves, maybe estate protection, or maybe he was just there when she needed someone. Fans are even speculating that Toni played it smart and flipped the script, locking Birdman in when he least expected it. And honestly, Tamar's shade makes it seem like she might agree. But check that timeline. It's suspiciously neat. Quick I do, quicker I'm done, and silence ever since. It's giving mission complete. Like Toni just wanted that last name for reasons nobody's talking about. Now let's go ahead and talk about the real elephant in the room. Whenever Birdman's name pops up, you know somebody brings up that one moment, or should we say those moments, with Lil Wayne. Yeah, Wheezy F baby, please say the baby. And those videos? Multiple clips of Birdman kissing Wayne on the lips, sometimes like fam, and sometimes a lil too cozy. Now hey, no judgment here, we're just saying what the streets are already whispering. In the hip-hop world, moves like that don't go unnoticed. So when Tamar started hinting that Birdman's loyalty might not be all about Toni, whew, people started side-eyeing hard. And if all that's true, then maybe Toni wasn't Birdman's bride. Maybe she was his business partner. 'Cause let's be real, nothing about their marriage, from the sketchy timeline to the vibe, felt like a fairy tale. Now this part hits different. Toni Braxton's been battling lupus for years. She's had serious health scares, life-threatening ones. And when you're living with a chronic illness, things like money, legal protection, and estate planning become real important. So here's a theory fans are tossing around. Did Toni marry Birdman not for love, but for security? Was this move all about protecting her future and making sure her family would be good if something ever happened to her? Let's not forget, Birdman's got serious money and influence, and to be fair, he was by her side through some of her roughest moments. Toni even said in an interview, "Every night he'd ask me, 'Are you okay? Are you good?' So maybe, just maybe, this wasn't about butterflies and fireworks. Maybe it was about stability, peace, and having someone solid around when it counted. And Tamar? She's been dropping little hints in this direction too. She said Toni's always had a strong mind for business. So now people are wondering, was this marriage really about love? Or was it about survival? And yo, let's not forget about that $5 million ring that just disappeared into thin air. That mystery still has fans scratching their heads. 1 minute Toni's flaunting it, next minute, gone. And right after the 2018 engagement, she hops on a flight and then boom. No ring, no explanation, just more questions. So Toni hops on a flight, and her $5 million engagement ring pulls a disappearing act mid-trip. Later on, she said the luggage showed up, but the ring? Gone without a trace. Now you'd think that kind of loss would set off alarms, right? A full-on meltdown, maybe? But Birdman, aka Mr. Gator Boots with the Gucci suit and the silk towel, didn't flinch one bit. He didn't yell, he didn't act pressed, he barely blinked, he just told Toni, "It's all good, I'll get you another one." And that's when fans collectively said, "Wait, what?" 'Cause look, if you drop $5 million on a ring, especially in a relationship that already seems kinda shaky, you don't just shrug it off like you lost a phone charger. Even losing one AirPod will ruin someone's whole mood, so this didn't add up. People started side-eyeing hard. Was the ring even real? Was the engagement just a public stunt? 'Cause the energy around it felt way off, and looking back, that whole moment low-key felt like a shift, like maybe neither one of them was really locked in, if they ever were to begin with. And here's where Tamar comes in again, throwing that subtle shade. She's hinted more than once that Toni wasn't in love with Birdman like that. She respected him. She cared about him. And yeah, he supported her through some rough patches, like her lupus battle and major losses. But that deep, passionate, ride or die kind of love? Fans weren't seeing it? Toni stayed dodging questions about the wedding. Real slick. In interviews and on Instagram, she kept everything vague. Any post with Birdman? Either barely there, deleted later, or missing altogether. Folks started saying she was emotionally stuck, still tied to her past with Carrie Lewis, juggling mom life, and feeling the pressure to settle down with someone who looked perfect on paper. And Tamar? She made it crystal clear. Toni was out here trying to force something that was never gonna fit. But let's lock in the timeline one more time because this part is wild. Toni and Birdman got married on August 8th. By August 10th? Separated. That's not cold feet, that's a full-on sprint out the door. And word on the street is that Birdman ghosted her right after the wedding. She filed for divorce just 2 weeks later, but the damage? Already done. Here's where things take a sharp left. Allegedly, Tamar told close friends that Birdman saw something he didn't like. Right after the wedding. Maybe the energy shifted. Maybe he realized something shady. Or maybe he never really wanted to be married in the first place and just felt pressured to go through with it. Now, Tamar didn't spell it out, but she definitely threw some shade, hinting that Toni rushed in, and Birdman bolted out even faster. There's been a lot of talk online about how women end up choosing safe over soul, picking men who look good on paper instead of ones who feel right in the heart. And guess what? Toni's situation checked every single one of those boxes. Tamar's always been the outspoken Braxton, but when it comes to family, she usually keeps it cute, unless it's serious, so when she throws shade, it hits different, more like a sister finally snapping after watching Big Sis repeat the same mistake too many times. And let's keep it real, Tamar wasn't the only one thinking this. Fans had been side-eyeing that relationship way back in 2018, but Toni kept brushing it off, saying it was complicated. Yeah, complicated like a whole production? And that's the question that's got people spiraling now. Was this marriage even legit? Or was it just for the cameras? Don't forget, Braxton Family Values was known for shocking reveals and wild moments. And what's more headline-worthy than a surprise wedding? Birdman and Toni's whole vibe always felt like a scripted scene. No wedding pics, no honeymoon shots, no just married glow. Just a quiet ceremony followed by a loud, messy breakup. And when fans looked closer at the timeline, every public move lined up suspiciously well with new Braxton projects dropping. Coincidence? Some say no way. Now folks are wondering if the marriage was really about brand building for Toni, for Birdman, and for those TV ratings. Because let's be honest, the energy never screamed married love, though it screamed promo plan.
Okay, you're engaged.
I'm engaged. He did good, right?
Well, right? Very well. He did good. But there's no date.
There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates, but we were doing Braxton Family Values and we were going through a little drama, and I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all of our sisters together.
Some folks say the whole thing gave co-star chemistry, more show than soul. One theory? Toni married Birdman to lock in her legacy and protect what she built. Another one? Birdman only said yes to finally shut down all those lingering rumors, especially the ones questioning his preferences and whispering about him being on the low. Then there's the wildest theory of them all, that it was a straight-up lavender marriage, a mutual setup. Toni got legal protection and a powerful name to stand beside hers. Birdman got to silence the speculation and present a more traditional image to the public. And while Tamar hasn't come right out and said any of this, fans are convinced she's been hinting at all of it from day one. And let's be honest, Birdman has never been known for laying low. So if this was a real, passionate love story, wouldn't we have seen something by now? Some photos, public affection? Anything? Instead, the whole thing just feels like a deal gone sideways, and fast. But here's where it turns a little sad. What if this wasn't a scam or a PR stunt or a power play? What if it was just two people, hurting, trying to fill the empty spaces in their lives? Toni's been battling health issues, career changes, and aging right under the spotlight. Birdman's been trying to reshape his image and maybe finally settle down. Maybe they both wanted something real, just not with each other.
Never met him.
So Bird, we got to get right to
you know, the business at hand. You don't do a lot of interviews. Can you talk closer to the mic for me?
Never have.
Yeah, and so
Maybe they tried to force something that wasn't there, and it cracked in 48 hours. Now everyone's asking, did Toni trick Birdman into it? Did Birdman trap himself trying to save face? Or were they just tired, lonely, and reaching for something that looked like love, even if it never truly was? Tamar Braxton might have kept it cute, but trust, the internet heard every single word. And let's not sugarcoat it. This whole thing never felt like love. It felt like a contract that fell apart the second real life kicked in. A 2-day marriage? That's not a love story, that's a warning label. And honestly, it told us everything we needed to know without saying much at all. But now I want to hear your take. Was it a setup, a publicity move, or just two people chasing comfort in the wrong place? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get into it. If you're here for all this spicy celeb tea, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and don't forget to turn those notifications on so you never miss another moment of Hollywood drama, messy breakups, or behind-the-scenes chaos. Catch y'all on the next one. It's only getting juicier from here.